Hi everyone. So, when should you employ your solicitor if you're buying a house in Scotland? This is a really good question. I don't claim to be an expert on all this stuff, but from what I gather, it is wisest to do it ahead of time. So, don't leave it until you're ready to put your offer in on your property. That's rather leaving it to the last minute. This is because your Scottish solicitor has to do a bit of due diligence with you. They have to check out that you are who you say you are, that you're not a criminal, that you live where you say you live, and so on, because they're going to be submitting a legal document on your behalf. And so, as is the nature of things in the world of solicitors and legal documents, everything has to be done properly. So it's a good idea to hire your solicitor in advance, find out from them how much they're going to charge for submitting the offers and the conveyancing. And normally they will give you a package price. So that will include submitting offers on properties, but then also the conveyancing. So once you get an offer accepted, all the legal stuff. Obviously, the property tax and so on that has to be paid will be in addition to that, because that's dependent on the price of the house that you're buying or the property that you're buying, and also whether it's a second property or whether it's going to be your sole home and so on. That affects the tax and what have you. That's a whole other thing. And also get a bit of clarity from them as to how many offers they will submit within that fee, because it's not necessarily the case that the first offer you submit will be successful. You might end up going for 2 or 3 properties before you get an offer submitted and it goes through. And in fairness to them, because they're going to be doing work on your behalf for each offer they submit, they may say, well, we'll submit 2 or 3 offers for you within that fee, but if it gets to the 4th or the 5th offer, then there'll be a charge of £25 or £50 or £500, I don't know, for each subsequent offer until you get one accepted. I mean, of course, it could be that the first offer you submit is the one that's accepted, and then maybe they're a bit cash in hand, up on the deal. But you just want a bit of clarity on that, because they don't know and you don't know whether your offers are going to get accepted. That's down to the sellers as to what offer they accept. So it makes sense to do your research. That's a bit of Google searching, and you can always talk to estate agents. A lot of estate agents in Scotland also have their own legal firm as part of the business, or a lot of legal firms have an estate agency, and so you may find that you get a feeling from an estate agent that you like the way that company seems to work, and their staff seem really friendly and helpful, and you might think, well, these seem like nice people. What I've done is I came across an estate agent, and I was dealing with them about viewing property and so on, and I got a really good feel for this estate agent, and she happened to say to me, oh, and if you need a solicitor, talk to me. She just mentioned it in one email. There's no pressure or anything like that, and I thought, without doing any research on their website, that maybe they had a legal side to their firm. And so I did. I fired an email back after a bit, a little bit later down the line, and said, oh, can you get somebody from your legal team to send me a quote for conveyancing? And she came back to me and said, actually, no, we haven't got a legal side to our firm, but I can recommend 2 legal firms to you that we deal with and I know are very good. And just because of the kind of firm they were, I liked and felt confident taking their recommendation. And I contacted both firms, got quotations from them, and I got a really good vibe from one of those firms. And so I've subsequently engaged one of those firms, and so far I've been very impressed with the performance. To give you an idea of their costs for conveyancing, they charge about £1,800 plus VAT. for conveyancing, which is, it's a lot of money, but there's quite a bit of work involved in the Scottish system for conveyancing, and that's a bit more than we're paying for a English solicitor, which I think is about £1,200-1,300 for all the searches and all the legal side of things and so on. But it just shows that there are costs involved in this thing. But that's my advice. I don't give legal advice. I'm not an expert in all this. But I think what you need to do is be prepared so that when the day comes up that you need to put a bid in, what I'm beginning to find is that with the way the property market is in Scotland, certainly with the kind of properties we're going for, when it happens and you need to put a bid in on a property, you're going to have to move quickly, quite likely to get the property you want. And what you don't want is for then you to ring up a solicitor and say, can you put a bid in for me today? And the solicitor say, not a chance. It takes us 2 or 3 days to do our due diligence, and the earliest we can look at it for you is next week. And you lose out on a property because you can't get a solicitor in time to do that for you. You want to get set up so that when it's time for you to pull the trigger on your dream home, they're ready, you're ready. You can tell them in advance, I'm going to view a property, I'm very keen on it. Can you be ready just in case, etc., etc. And you've got that relationship. They know what property you're going for. If there's anything they need to do in advance, they can do it, and so on and so on. So that is what I would recommend. That is what I'm picking up from my experience so far. For what it's worth, I'm not an expert. It's just what I'm suggesting to you you might want to do. It's the lesson that I'm now learning from this. Don't sit back and wait and leave everything to the last minute, because likely it might cause you problems when that dream property suddenly hits and you need to move really quick. Okay, so maybe that's been helpful. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. I hope this postcard from the edge has proved useful, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.